Hey again, Sagittarius. Thanks for your patience. I ran out of room recording your reading around the 8-minute mark. So there's 2 videos for you. Thanks for your patience. I really appreciate that. And my apologies for that cutting off and making 2 videos. So back into your reading, I was saying that taking action is going to have to do with something in your immediate environment, something that you are doing or thinking or believing or feeling. So the Ace of Fire is up here. This is what is already evident to you, and this is what it's supporting. So the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is cutting through the bull crap, right? It's getting to... So first, I just want to speak briefly to what an ace is. An ace is an undiluted... It's the undiluted essence of the suit, right? Of the element. So the Ace of Fire is an undiluted, it's the purest energy, it's source energy of action, right? This is behavior, action. So this is an opportunity for you, okay? This is something that's available to you that is in your best interests, it looks like, to move forward and take action. And taking action around an undiluted source energy of the element of air, which is your thoughts and ideas, concepts, communication, belief systems, patterns of beliefs, even learning and education. Okay, when we deal with the suit of air, we're dealing with another ace, which is the undiluted source of this. So I'm going to suggest that you need to take action in a really profound, undiluted way around a profound and undiluted concept that you've been holding, right? Whatever's going on in June is very, very personal to you. Again, I don't see this occurring in your work environment unless it has to do with you taking yourself to task within a work environment. This is something that's going on within an intellectual and emotional realm for you, no matter where you find yourself this month. A real opportunity to take yourself to task. And because we're dealing with aces, it is starting at the start. And it's really important for you to recognize this, that you can't start on third base, right? You can't start at point D or E. You really have to start at the start. And I think part and parcel of you getting anywhere with discovering this thought process or getting to the root of it or the core. Remember, air rules truth, right? Swords are truth, and this can be disquieting for you. It can even be uncomfortable. As I said earlier, you may have either been avoiding this or tried to avoid this, right? On an emotional level. Maybe it's uncomfortable. And, you know, once we get to the heart of the matter, the truth is often uncomfortable. It's why the majority of people reject it or can't deal with it or get upset. But the bottom line is that it remains true, whether we like it or not. So I do think moving forward here, I do think that that is partially what's holding you up. There's almost like this, you know, when I examine my feelings about this, making a move in the right direction here toward truth and evidence, right? So many feelings come up about it. What if this happens? Who is that going to affect? I don't feel, you know, what are my feelings about this? What are my friends going to say? How will this impact my work environment? How will this impact the way I engage with other people? You know, what does this mean in the long run? Like, there's just some real questions around it. And yeah, by and large, you've been looking at a real spiritual, at least from what I've been seeing for you, a real spiritual endeavor over the past good 12 months. So this might be branching out into a new area for you, something that you need to be willing to emotionally and intellectually engage in. Because we do have, so again, what is available to you or obvious to you, and then what's underneath is the Page of Swords. Now again, I've mentioned swords rule the intellect, communication, thoughts, belief systems, patterns of behavior, etc. And the Page is a youthful energy, and the Page is also a little bit excited to say, I have something to offer you. So pages always come with a message. And how beautiful to see this right after the ace. So source energy and a message given to you. How do you feel about that? Well, you're going to have to come to terms with that this month. And again, this could very well keep you up at night, at least for a night or two, Sagittarius. So, don't be surprised by that. This could, something in that large or that has that much impact or impression on our emotional and intellectual world is probably going to be a game changer too. So this could not only upset your worldview or thought process, etc., but it will probably be a long-lasting impact. It's probably not low volume or low vibration. It's probably going to have a large lasting impact. So it's important for you to be able to do this work. So a message is coming in for you with regard to truth, right? Remember, the swords always cut through the baloney. Even how we feel about something, right? It looks like a fairly uncomfortable time. Again, reach out to a trusted friend. We'll find some more information here with some of the oracle cards. In fact, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, the reading here is quite possibly the most cut and dry I've seen for really any sign in a long time. There's really not a lot to fetter out here. It's just really obvious to me. You just need to make a move. Of course, there's going to be conflict, even within the direction that you move or the way that you've been behaving here. Where you align yourself. But it's going to be enlightening, okay? There's two ways to look at heat, okay, when we look at the element of fire. There's two ways to look at fire right now, particularly around this intellectualism or this ideology system here. And that is heat and light. You've probably heard this before, right? You want to engage in individuals, whether it's on an emotional level or an intellectual level, who have heat. Sorry, just realized what I was saying. Who have light to offer you from friction and not heat. Heat is nice, but heat is just heated and it's a lot of opinions and it's a lot of hurt feelings. Light is literally enlightenment. It is the aha moment. It's the eureka moment. It's the difference between ignorance and education, ignorance and knowledge. Ignorance and evidence. So I would really encourage you to seek evidence this month because it'll work in your favor. It'll really help you out of a tough situation, particularly with the way your heart is beating right now, because you do have a big heart. The Queen of Cups here is a very evolved, compassionate person. This can be a man or a woman with exceptional feminine qualities, compassion, caring, commitment, emotional well-being, so much so that you can share it with others. You have to possess this in order to be able to provide it. So this is someone in your environment, if it isn't you yourself, if you have a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising Sagittarius. If that's the case, it can be you, or it could be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, woman or man who is mature in your environment. And if that's the case, you can turn to them and they'll be very helpful to you at this time. So this is what is available to you or what is evident to you. And what it's speaking to is the Six of Pentacles here. The Six of Pentacles is a give and take. It is an honest, constructive, fair, concrete give and take. So from ideas and emotions into the concrete world. So you can give and take here. You can find an equilibrium. Sixes are always about equilibrium, balance. In fact, in that regard, the sixes of any suit are really closely aligned to the Justice card, right? So there could be an issue here having to do with justice or an injustice that you see socially or personally that you're trying to decipher within yourself, okay, on your own here. So that balance is coming to a 4. And I say that because what follows every 5 is a 6. And of course, the 6 of Wands, as you know, is victory. But it does follow a little bit of conflict, maybe even a little bit of discord, okay, in the action that you're going to take here. It could even be the action of education leads to an internal conflict. Your behavior can no longer stay the same. And there's a dichotomy or even a cognitive dissonance that you need to confront here this month. I cannot say enough that, you know, a sober heart and a sober mind is really important to engage in this. And when I say that, no, it doesn't just mean like alcohol free. It's not exactly what I mean. It just means it's something that this is something you need to discover on your own right now. I'm not saying you can't look at evidence or you can't reach out to someone that you trust right now. It's something that you're going to have to work through on your own is what I mean in particular. So what is happening here is actually part and parcel of moving forward into the sun. Pure enlightenment, okay? So a really beautiful outcome awaits you at the end of June with regard to this issue or pressing concern. This is really gorgeous for you. There's a big opportunity for you to become a huge light, not only for yourself and getting yourself out of something difficult, getting out of a difficult situation, a situation that felt like it was confusing, you didn't want to face it, with the 9 of Swords at the bottom of the deck there. I mean, something that was quite literally could very well have been keeping you up at night. Confusing, upsetting, unnerving, you know, that type of thing. But with the sun as your outcome here, you know, I really feel confidently here, Sagittarius, if you're willing to put yourself through a little bit of this work, to get to the bottom of it, to really learn what it is that you're thinking and feeling, you really stand to come out on top here. You really stand to impress yourself, enlighten yourself. You know, you're the archer, right? You're also a fire sign. So, I mean, this is probably not entirely scary for you. I don't even think you're resistant to this. I just think it's something that maybe for once in a very long time that you may need to go alone. We had 2 jumbos there. We will take them. Yeah, teacher and spirit. So, I mean, I don't think that there's a complete disregard for the spiritual world right now. We do have spirit coming up, so this could very well have to do with your spiritual studies. It's just that that's not the basis of it this month in June. So yeah, as I was mentioning, I mean, anytime, getting away from something that isn't working for you anymore. Anytime we see the sun in a reading, in my view, it's going to counteract anything that's troubling. And really the only troubling thing was, wow, the 9 of Swords, which is truly and honestly something that you yourself are able to get yourself out of. So as I mentioned, this is part 2 of your reading. I do apologize for that cutting off. So be sure to check with the beginning of the reading for yourself. It's about 8 minutes long. And then this is going to polish everything off for you. The Miracles card jumped out of the Healing Angels Oracle. This is what's available to you. And of course, this is just 100% aligned with the sun, okay? A miracle is an enlightenment. It is a moment of clarity. But it doesn't come through no effort of your own, and it doesn't come because you resist it. This is really all about acceptance, you know? Like, if you're able to... If we allow for truth to be king, okay, and Sagittarius is really okay with this, you're not a cynical sign like the Capricorn, but you are, it's not cynicism, it's skepticism, and this serves you well. So, you know, walk in your skepticism, but walk in it with some faith, okay? You can be skeptical, but you still need to show some faith in yourself and in, evidence and in truth, okay? That capital T, truth. And reach for enlightenment and not just the heat of aggravation, right? Remember that this can take you there, but don't get caught up. Because I think that may happen as well. I think once you do reach out, even with a trusted person or two or what have you, or even internally, if this is going on internally for you, right? There could be resistance there, whether this is internal or external to you. So, recognize that for what it is, but don't get caught up in it. Like, unless it offers you light as opposed to heat, that's when you're going in the right direction here for yourself. We had 2 cards come out of the medicine deck. We had Eagle. This is where we're looking at spirit. So yeah, this still does, in my view, still have to do with the spirit world, your spiritual growth. So that's really nice to see there. Spirit is very much a part of your growth pattern. And then we have our second 6. This is the wolf here. So we do have a balance available to you. Remember, the wolf is teacher. Right? And as I've always said, every teacher has a student and every student has a teacher. So you have a real opportunity to be both. And they're always one and the same, okay? This is the other thing that gets forgotten a lot too. Like, every teacher is a student, every student is a teacher. So try not to let that dissuade you from getting involved with the learning process or even teaching. A really nice opportunity for that is available to you this month. And like I said, it could be within yourself or with another person, and a great deal of truth will be revealed to you, and it will just, really clear the way for you. It'll just shed light on everything, and you can just, move forward here. And then, as I said here quickly, with the balance, so 6s are balances, so things will balance out for you. Here with Clean It Up, yeah, get rid of what isn't working, really decide on what path you want to take here, who you really are. Because these are sitting, the Queen of Cups is sitting over this with the balance. Something in the practical realm will balance you. A message of truth is going to be available to you. It could be upsetting, shocking. It could be confusing. It could be, oh, geez, I didn't want to hear this, that type of thing. But have the strength of character to confront that once and for all. And we have a 3 here, so there could be, there's a lot of energy around this. There could be spiritual energy, but there's a lot of growth energy around this. And, get rid of what isn't working for you, essentially. And then we have weddings. So this situation involves marriage. This just jumped out. So if you're in a relationship, and this has to do with another person that you're dealing with in a relationship, this is something that's going to bring you closer. So don't be afraid of having that conversation or that tiny conflict, which could be a necessary element for growth within the relationship. If this has to do with a project, particularly one that is of the heart, or one that is of an intellectual state for you, then this is something that you're going to, commit to once you begin on this path, learning about this or coming to terms with this, etc. It's something that you're going to become really comfortable and confident with, that you can move forward with, and it'll accompany you, and this will create a bond that you can feel confident moving forward with. And of course, for creative projects, this is something that's going to be part and parcel of your everyday work in the future. It's just going to be part and parcel of your intellectual and your emotional world. So yeah, I see this situation as being, quite prominent for you. This is a real learning opportunity for you in the month of June. So Sagittarius, that's exciting. I haven't seen this type of energy for you in a super long time. So, take the bull by the horns this month. Don't be afraid of things. Really stretch yourself, stretch your mind, stretch your viewpoints, challenge your viewpoints, ideologies, belief systems, etc. And remember to reach for light and not heat. Don't get trapped in conflict or conflicting conversations or rude or useless debates. If that's the case, just go to where the light is, and I think that you'll be given all the information you need in order to move forward. That is your reading for June. Thank you as always for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. Take excellent care until then. Bye for now.